Have you ever felt that rush of excitement when a man's attention makes you glow inside, only to have it vanish days later, leaving you confused? One moment he's gentle and considerate, the next, he's distant, as though he can't acknowledge the bond you sense between you. This confusing dance between closeness and withdrawal can be both thrilling and unsettling. Let me share an example. Mia had a coworker named Jake. They texted each other until late at night, swapped stories, and seemed to have a spark neither dared name. Some days, Mia was sure Jake was interested. He'd beam when they spoke, occasionally linger in hallways just to chat, and recall minor details from her life. But at times, he'd shift, becoming guarded or unavailable. Mia felt torn, wondering if she was just imagining a connection or if Jake was grappling with feelings he was too fearful to admit. If you've been in Mia's shoes, picking up mixed signals from a man who seems like he might have deeper emotions for you, stay with me. We're exploring signs that indicate he could be fighting strong feelings instead of openly sharing them. By the end, you may feel more certain whether you're just reading too much into things or if he's silently overwhelmed by emotions he can't voice. If you've been through a similar push and pull, let me know how it felt for you. I'd love to hear your story. Why this matters. It's easy to dismiss or overanalyze fleeting moments of warmth or kindness, especially when they're followed by periods of avoidance. But recognizing patterns of genuine fondness in a man who can't bring himself to confess can help you avoid second-guessing your instincts. It's also a chance for something real to grow, rather than letting fear and confusion keep you both at a standstill. This is precisely the predicament Mia found herself in, unsure whether to ignore her instincts or trust them enough to spark a deeper conversation with Jake. Sign number 1, hot and cold behavior. One afternoon, Jake stayed late at work just to walk Mia to her car, listening earnestly to every word she spoke. She left glowing, convinced he was on the brink of telling her something big. But the next day, she caught him avoiding eye contact and keeping their interactions painfully short. Men fighting their feelings may have these abrupt mood swings as they clash between wanting to be close and fearing they're giving too much away. If you've experienced that jarring shift, sweet one day, icy the next, share your thoughts on how it made you feel. Sign number 2, showing up where you are. Mia noticed that whenever she had a favorite lunch spot, Jake would, coincidentally, pop in. He'd pretend it was on his way or that he was craving the same food. If you see this pattern, someone appearing in your usual spaces without reason, he could be trying to spend extra time near you without labeling it a date. It might seem innocent on the surface, but it can be a strong sign of deeper motives. Let me know if you've had these coincidental meetups that felt a bit too convenient to be chanced. Sign number 3, avoiding labels or definitions. When Mia gently teased Jake, calling their coffee break a mini date, he tensed and brushed it off. Some men will love sharing hours with you, chatting, laughing, bonding, but freeze the moment you reference it as a date or ask if it's more than friendship. They're caught between liking you and dreading rejection or embarrassment. If you found yourself in indefinite hangout territory, always unspoken, think back. Could he be quietly guarding his heart while hoping you'll decode his hints? Sign number 4, nervous around emotional conversations, 1 minute. Mia once brought up future plans and whether they saw themselves traveling or moving to new jobs. Jake, who could talk about anything else for hours, suddenly grew uneasy. Men who are hiding deeper emotions might dodge or joke about serious talks, worried they'll slip and reveal how invested they are. Reflect on whether you've seen him shut down or crack a random joke whenever the discussion nears personal or relationship topics. Sign number 5, remembering even tiny details, 1.5 minutes. Jake recalled how Mia liked a specific brand of herbal tea she mentioned in passing weeks ago. He surprised her with it one morning, pretending it was on sale. A man who's fighting feelings may appear casual, but his mind records every small preference you mention, your favorite dessert, the book series you love, or your best friend's name. If someone's memory for tiny personal facts stands out, it's often a bigger clue than any grand gesture. Sign number 6, struggling with jealousy. Another day, Mia told Jake a story about hanging out with a male friend. Jake's entire demeanor shifted, he became quieter or changed the subject abruptly. If a man shows tension or changes mood when you bring up other guys, it could be that jealousy flaring. Yet he might not dare to say he's uncomfortable, because that would reveal an emotional claim he's scared to express. Perhaps you've sensed that flicker of discomfort in a man's eyes, like he longs to say, "I want you to only look at me," but can't put it into words. Sign number 7, goes out of his way to help, 1.5 minutes. Jake was always the first to volunteer if Mia mentioned a problem, fixing a computer glitch, offering a ride, or taking on an extra task at work. He acted like it was no big deal, but it happened too often to be mere kindness. Men who are battling affection often overcompensate by ensuring your comfort and seeing you happy, hoping you'll notice the depth of their care. Notice if he drops his own priorities to help you out. That can be a subtle cry for you to see him as supportive and indispensable in your life. Sign number 8, compliments then downplays it, 1 minute. Sometimes Jake would say, "You look amazing today," then quickly add, "Not that you don't always, I mean, just being honest," and shift the conversation. This stammering or disclaiming reveals he wants you to know he's paying attention but fears you'll realize how strongly he means it. If you've encountered compliments that feel both genuine and slightly embarrassed, it may be a clue he's uncertain how bold he can be without scaring you away. Sign number 9, overly involved online, 1.5 minutes. On social media, Jake was often the first viewer of Mia's stories or the one to heart her posts within seconds. He'd occasionally leave playful comments then act casual the next day in person. When a man is fighting deeper emotions, social media can be a safer arena to interact, where he can show interest while minimizing real-time vulnerability. Remember, if you've had a man who's more engaged and bold on Instagram or Facebook than in real life, it often suggests internal conflict he's grappling with offline. Sign number 10, friends or family drop hints. Mia noticed that Jake's coworkers teased him whenever she walked by or left them alone intentionally. If his close circle suspects he likes you, they might encourage or tease him to see if something blossoms. This group involvement can mean they're aware of feelings he hasn't confessed. It can be awkward but also a big sign that his affections are obvious to those around him. Think of times a guy's friends teased or joked about you two as a couple, or politely left you alone without reason. That group dynamic might show he confided in them more than you realize. Sign number 11, indicating future possibilities without proposing. Jake occasionally slipped mentions like, "We should go to that beach next summer," or "Our tastes in music are so similar, we'd have a blast at that festival." But if Mia tried pinning down a real plan, Jake would act non-committal. Men who foresee a future but are paralyzed by fear might reference hypothetical scenarios, hoping you'll respond positively, but never fully commit. If you catch him imagining traveling or doing couple-like activities, it can be a giveaway that he's mentally picturing life with you. Sign number 12, he blushes or goes silent under direct questions about, "You too?" At some point, Mia, tired of uncertainty, asked, "Where do we stand?" Jake's reaction was telling. His face warmed, he stumbled for words, maybe tried to laugh it off, but it was clear he was overwhelmed. This freeze or blush often occurs when the man's unspoken emotions are confronted directly and he's forced to decide whether to reveal them. Check if you've had direct talks about your bond that made him clam up or deflect in ways uncharacteristic of him. That can be the biggest sign he's fighting a serious feeling he's scared to name. Conclusion and lessons. Reflecting on Mia and Jake's story, after picking up on his hesitant body language and thoughtful gestures, Mia decided she deserved clarity. She gently mentioned she valued him beyond mere friendship, giving him space to respond without pressure. Jake admitted he was afraid of losing the friendship and facing rejection. By acknowledging the tension, they found honesty, leading to a closeness they might never have unlocked had they just kept dancing around their feelings. If these signs resonate with you, consider that each man's circumstances differ. He could be dealing with past trauma, heartbreak, or a deep fear of being turned down. Approach with compassion, but remember your emotional well-being too. If the dance of maybe yes, maybe no persists too long, you have every right to ask for a clearer answer. A stable, fulfilling bond is built on open communication, not cryptic signals and guesswork. If you found any part of this video connecting with your experiences, please let me know how it related to you. Your insights might help others realize they're not imagining things. Thank you for watching. Never underestimate the power of a calm, honest conversation. Sometimes, it's all that's needed to turn hidden feelings into a beautifully mutual affection. If it isn't mutual, embracing clarity will set you free from confusion, letting you find a love that embraces you fully.